We'll start this morning's session by calling Boone County case CR 2015-176, State of Arkansas versus John Roland Sullivan. Court will make the appointment of the Public Defender's Office to represent Mr. Sullivan. Mr. Sullivan, are you able to hear us? All right. This case is for arraignment on charges of possession of a controlled substance, hydrocodone, a Class D felony, possession of a controlled substance, alprazolam, Class A misdemeanor, and possession of drug paraphernalia, a separate Class A misdemeanor. On those charges, how does the defendant now plead?
Not guilty.
Plea of not guilty is entered. Case will be set for, we're going to set it by scheduling order. It'll be set for trial during the week of March 7th of 2016. A pre-trial will be scheduled for February 5th of 2016. And the court is ordering the defendant's reappearance on January 15th of 2016. So, are there any other matters to be brought before the court?
Would like to address the issue of bond, Your Honor.
All right.
Judge, I can cut that short. Apparently his affidavit had a bond of $15,000. The warrant had a bond of $2,500. Judge Kirkpatrick at his 8.1 hearing on the 5th noted that, and based upon the charges, the state would agree to the $2,500 bond.
John, can you make a $2,500 bond?
I could help.
I'm sorry? Okay.
He's going to have to move closer to the microphone. I can't hear him at all. Whoever's talking needs to stop.
Ma'am.
Judge, I'm going to ask that she be removed from the courtroom. There is absolutely no reason to interfere with our proceedings.
But you're...
I have to talk to my family.
Okay. Your bond's going to be set at $2,500 cash or pro. If you make bond, please make contact with my office and the Public Defender's Office. Okay.
All right. Anything further to come forward?
No, Your Honor.
All right. You may be excused, sir. 2015-177, State of Arkansas versus Stephen Cole Simmons. Court is making the appointment of the Public Defender's Office to represent Mr. Simmons. On the charges of battery in the first degree, a Class Y felony, battery in the second degree, a Class D felony, and permitting the abuse of a minor, a Class B felony, how does the defendant now plead?
Not guilty, Your Honor. Wait formal reading of the charge.
Plea of not guilty is noted. This case is assigned to Judge Putman's docket. I'll set it down for reappearance in front of Judge Putman on October 30th.
Judge, I'd like to address the issue of bond in this matter.
All right.
Judge, it looks like he's charged with battery in the first degree, and it appears that the bond was set at $150,000. I think that a lower bond would be sufficient to guarantee his appearance.
Judge, state's opposed to a lower bond, and if anything, would suggest to the court that the bond ought to be higher in this case. This man, a drug user, abused a 7-week-old baby, and it appears from the records that we have received so far, the baby had been abused prior. Well, the baby's 42 days old. That creates a dangerous situation. Plus, this man's on paper right now. So $150,000 is more than reasonable, and given that he's facing a possible life sentence, the state would request that the court raise his bond to $500,000.
Your Honor, it would appear that we're now punishing people who are presumed innocent with high bonds because we're assuming they're guilty, according to the state. And in this particular instance, this is not a murder; it's an accusation. And the purpose of bond is to make sure the person shows up for court, they don't flee, and they're not a danger to the community. Based upon the information I've just been handed by the prosecutors, it appears that the victim in the case, or alleged victim in the case, was apparently in the custody of state agencies. So it doesn't appear that there's any danger to the victim. And I haven't seen anything in here where my client's a flight risk.
Well, Your Honor, when you're a prior convicted felon and you're now facing life in prison, I believe you are a flight risk.
The court's going to find that the circumstances of this case indicate that there's a high risk of flight just simply given the situation. However, the court feels that the judgment of Judge Kirkpatrick is good and will leave the bond at $150,000. Matters assigned to Judge Putman's docket. If he feels it should be raised or lowered, then he can take charge of that.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Sir, you may be excused. 2015-178, State of Arkansas versus Donald Miller. I believe it's Donald Joseph Miller.
Judge, I believe he does have some other cases pending before the court.
But I don't see any of them listed on today's appearance.
I believe this is a new charge, and he's Mr. Hancock's client.
Okay. All the other cases are assigned to Mr. Hancock?
Yes, Your Honor. I've got a direct conflict with Mr. Miller.
Okay. The court's going to make the appointment of the Public Defender's Office for Mr. Miller.
Judge, I'm handing Mr. Russo to give to...
Give it the case.
Okay, I'm giving it to Kay. 80 pages, a number of bits, photos.
All right. This is for arraignment on charges of breaking or entering, a Class D felony, and theft of property, a Class C felony. On those charges, how does this defendant now plead?
Your Honor, on behalf of Mr. Hancock for Mr. Miller, he'll enter a plea of not guilty.
Okay. The court's going to note a plea of not guilty. I'm going to, for the convenience of the parties, the court's going to transfer this matter to the Division III docket. And I'll set him down to reappear on October 30th in front of Judge Putnam. Anything else to come before the court at this time?
Not at this time, sir.
All right. You may be excused, sir. 2015-180, State of Arkansas versus Christian Alera. Court's making the appointment of the Public Defender's Office to represent Mr. Alera. This matter is for arraignment on charges of possession of controlled substance, hydrocodone, Class B felony, theft by receiving, Class B felony, possession of Schedule II controlled substance, fentanyl, Class C felony, possession of Schedule I or II controlled substance, methadone, Class C felony. On those charges, how does the defendant now plead?
Not guilty. Wait formal reading.
Plea of not guilty is noted. This case have appointed the Public Defender's Office. This case is set down for hearing, by scheduling order for a reappearance to check status of the case on January 15th, 2015. It's set for pretrial on, make sure the dates, on February 2nd, 2016, and it's set for trial during the week of March 7th of 2016. That'll be by scheduling order. Any other matters to come before the court at this time?
Judge, based upon the information I've been provided, I'd ask for a reduction in his bond.
What says the state?
Judge, state's opposed. The court may recall we had Mr. Alera in court a couple years ago for he and his brother's also involved in this, were caught on videotape walking out of Walmart with a television, among other things. So I don't recall the disposition of that case, whether it ended up being a felony or a misdemeanor. But here we have somebody who clearly has not only a drug problem, but a theft problem. Although I will concede that it was his brother that actually took this medicine cart, but Christian knew that it was stolen, put a tarp over it, etc. The recommended bond at this point is $50,000. And I think the purpose that the bond was originally recommended at $50,000 is that his brother stole a medicine cart off a whole wing at one of our facilities here, which meant that the facility had to scramble around to get medicine for a bunch of patients. And it shows a total lack of disregard for the health and concern of fellow citizens. I'd ask the court to leave the bond at $50,000.
Mr. Russo, do you know anything?
Yeah, Honor, he wasn't charged with health or safety. He's charged with theft of property, and he's charged with a felony drug possession. I think a $50,000 bond is a little excessive. I believe the state made half my argument when they said that he's been a resident here and he's not a flight risk. The other part is whether or not he represents a danger to the community. These are property crimes, and as such, Your Honor, I'd ask that his bond be lowered accordingly.
Well, I don't remember the state saying that he's not a flight risk.
Well, Judge, they said he was at Walmart stealing a TV, and
2 years ago.
right, so apparently he's still in the area 2 years later, so he hasn't been in a big hurry to leave the area, Judge.
Yeah. Okay.
And obviously, Judge,
Court reduced bond to be set at $25,000.
thank you, Your Honor.
Cash or professional, that'll be conditioned upon not possessing any drugs or alcohol, and that, do we know where he's going to be residing?
Judge, I believe he's got an address here in Harrison. My staff's got my slip, Judge.
Okay. Well, we know something more about his address.
Christian, where's your address going to be here in Harrison?
You'll have to speak up, please.
114 North Maple.
Okay. Court's going to require him to live at that address. It'll be a condition of his bond that he remain at that address and check in. Are you currently on probation?
It's felony probation.
Okay. Well, then I'm going to require as a condition of your bond that you fully comply with every condition of your probation, including checking in on a regular basis. And failure to do so will not only potentially result in your bond, in your probation being revoked, but it'll definitely involve your bond being revoked. All right? That'll be the order of the court.
Beat the heat by dressing cool. For the coolest clothes around, come to My Friend's Closet. At My Friend's Closet, you'll find gently worn name brand apparel for the whole family and all at low, low prices. Their selection changes every day, so stop by and shop often. My Friend's Closet also carries a good selection of shoes and accessories. Save yourself lots of time and money by shopping with a great selection at My Friend's Closet, 114 North Willow, downtown on the Harrison Square.
Arkansas Orthopedics and Sports Medicine now offers you 2 orthopedic surgeons, both trained in all the latest surgical techniques. Dr. Sedani and Dr. Cutler specialize in all forms of orthopedic problems and injuries, from torn rotator cuffs to joint replacement, even sprains or broken bones. Dr. Sedani and Dr. Cutler will see you quickly and with the highest standard of efficiency. The entire staff of Arkansas Orthopedics works to keep you moving. Call today for an appointment. Call Dr. Sedani and Dr. Cutler in Harrison at 741-8289.
It's summertime here at Shelby's. Come in and browse their jewelry boutique with collections of bracelets, rings, charms, and pendants from Da Vinci, Lenny and Eva, and Virgin Saints and Angels. For a unique gift that commemorates important occasions, check out the Willow Tree Signature Collection. In Shelby's baby department, you'll find items for both baby and mom. If you're looking for something for the home, your friends, or just for you, Shelby's is the place to shop. Shelby's. Simply elegant, surprisingly affordable.
2015-181, State of Arkansas versus Rachel Clayton. Rachel Clayton. Court's going to make the appointment of the Public Defender's Office to represent Ms. Clayton. She's for arraignment on charges of battery in the first degree, a Class Y felony, and permitting the abuse of a minor, a Class B felony. On those charges, how does she now plead?
Not guilty, Your Honor. Wait full reading of the charge.
This case is on the Division III docket of Judge Putman. The PD is being appointed. I will set it for a reappearance in front of Judge Putman on October 30th of 2015.
Your Honor, she's a co-defendant with Mr. Sullivan, and I'm not sure who in our office is going to be handling these. I'm sure that it's probably going to be Mr. Bunch, Mr. Hancock. Would like, under the, ask the court to address the issue of bond or reserve it for Judge Putman.
Well, the only thing I know about her, any address related to her, is it's in Missouri at this point, or at least, and I guess it's where she allegedly works is at Scenic Inn in Branson.
Judge, she has an address of 10952 White Road, Omaha. She's a graduate of Lead Hill High School. Her parents live in the county. She has other children that reside here, and she does have strong ties to the community with both her parents and her children.
What says the state?
Your Honor, she has no prior felony convictions, but she does apparently was charged with possession of drug paraphernalia and possession of a controlled substance back in 2013. However, the situation is still somewhat similar to Mr. Simmons in that she's facing a potential life sentence on this charge. And even worse, the child involved in this case is her own.
At this time, court is going to leave the bond set at $150,000. That's based on as with Mr. Simmons, I consider Ms. Clayton an extreme flight risk based on the nature of the charges and the allegations and what she's facing, both in terms of and potential charges against her, and she does seem to have a substantial connection out of state, so the court is concerned that she is a flight risk. I'll leave the bond at $150,000 if it's appropriate after more information is put together to make another request for bond. That can be addressed to Judge Putman on October 30th. All right, you may be excused.
We moved here in June, 18 years ago, and had not been in the house more than a week, and I popped my hip out of joint. And that was my first experience. And of course, the ER saved my life. I had an aortic aneurysm, and it had leaked all night. As soon as they brought me in here, they knew exactly what it was and exactly what to do.
Tundra TRD Pro powered Team Toyota to victory in the world's most grueling race in Baja. But why should they have all the fun? With available 381 horsepower V8 and the latest technology, it also powers your winning weekends. Qualified buyers get 0% APR for 60 months plus $2,000 special edition cash on a new 2015 Special Edition Tundra for a total savings over $5,200. Toyota, let's go places.
Many things have changed over the years, and so has auto body repair. Even though Ozark Auto Body has been in business for over 30 years, they continue to change with the times. They believe protecting the environment is important and have done so by using environmentally friendly waterborne paint from PPG. This aligns with the technology used by original manufacturers and gives you a lifetime limited warranty. Quality PPG waterborne paint, ASC certified personnel, plus 24-hour towing service. Ozark Auto Body in Harrison, always taking pride in excellence.
Books are an important part of your life, and when you go to Books on the Square, you'll find books that will not only be informative, but books that will take you away. Books on the Square now has 2 locations on the south side of the Harrison Square. Books on the Square carries fiction books, books on CD, lots of westerns, and books full of mystery. Books on the Square, too, next to Deb's Frames and Things, has your nonfiction favorites, religious, historical, and even cookbooks. Take a stroll down the south side of the square and visit both Books on the Square.
2015-188, State of Arkansas versus Joshua Alera. Court is going to make the appointment of the Public Defender's Office in Mr. Alera's case. And that appointment is made. This case, unlike the, well, let's get on with the arraignment. The arraignment in this case is on charges of theft of property, a Class B felony, and possession of a controlled substance, a Class D felony. This is for the alleged taking of a medicine cart from a nursing home containing a rather substantial amount of medication for patients in the nursing home. How does the defendant now plead?
Not guilty, Your Honor. Wait formal reading of the charge.
Plea of not guilty is noted. With the appointment of the Public Defender's Office, I'm presuming you're going to be representing Mr. Alera. Is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
And I'm setting this down for a reappearance on January 15th, 2016 for a pretrial on February 5th of 2016 and a trial date of March 7th of 2016. And there will be a written scheduling order entered in this case setting all those dates. Now, on the recommended bond in this case was $100,000. I presume it was different than the brother because this is the individual who allegedly took the cart. So
that would be my understanding, Your Honor. I would also point out he worked at the facility.
I would suggest that you use the past tense advisedly in that sentence. I doubt if he still has that job available to him. Are there arguments to be made on bond at this point?
Your Honor, Mr. Alera is a longtime resident of the county. As the court's aware, he does have ties He has family. His mother's here. In light of his lack of flight risk and or danger to the community, these are property crimes. That's all he's charged with. I'd ask for a bond similar to his brother.
Well, Mr. Russo and I have a different idea of property crimes and risk to the community. I think when you steal people's medicine, especially when you're employed there, you create a substantial risk of harm.
That's not what he's charged with, Judge.
I understand he's not
I
charged
think it's exactly what he's charged with. He's charged with stealing people's medicine.
But he's not charged. There's other offenses he could be charged with. The prosecutor wants to make that argument.
Yeah.
If you look at the affidavit, the officers requested we chose not to charge those offenses. But that does not mean the facts and circumstances do not exist, as law enforcement firmly believes.
Judge, I think a condition of bond, if you made his bond $25,000 like his brother's, you could put that he has to report and that he cannot take employment at any nursing home.
No, he's not on probation like his brother.
No.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Is he?
Yes. They were joint in the stealing of the television also.
Okay.
And Judge, if his bond is lowered, we would request that because of this situation and the prior situation, that he have no contact with his brother.
Where are they going to be living?
They live separately.
Josh, is your address still in St. Joe?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, Josh's address is 4949 MC 5008, St. Joe, Arkansas.
Well, court's going to set his bond at. I'll reduce it to do exactly what I did with his brother, which is reduce it to 1/2 of what it was set at by Judge Kirkpatrick. I'll set it at $50,000. I'll make a condition of his bond be that he not associate with his brother. I'll make it further in this condition of his bond that he not possess any drugs or alcohol, that he keep current at that address, and that he comply with all the conditions of reporting for probation that he's already on, so that any violation of those rules of probation will not only jeopardize the possibility of him having a revocation of that probation, but also will definitely jeopardize his status of remaining out on bond. All of those will be conditions of a $50,000 bond on Mr. Alera. He's on this court's docket. If, as we get this matter moving forward, further argument wants to be made on bond, the court will hear it. I believe it's November. Trying to remember the next. November 6th, I believe, is the next time that I'll be holding court. So that can come up again. All right, that's the court's decision on bond. You may be excused, sir.
When you support a locally owned pharmacy, you're contributing to the growth of the community. The dollars you spend stay right here to support our local community. Health Mart pharmacies are locally owned pharmacies. There's one right here. Health Mart pharmacists have a personal commitment to their communities because, just like you, they support their community. Health Mart pharmacies are locally owned and hometown proud. Harrison is a Health Mart town. Sam Alexander Pharmacy on the square downtown. Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
Attention safe drivers, keep your vehicle safe with new tires from Worley Tire. Stop in and visit with our friendly and knowledgeable staff and get the tires that are best for your car, truck, or SUV. You can even shop with us online at WorleyTire.com. Worley Tire also features batteries, alignments, tire rotation, and repair. Visit us on the web and like us on Facebook for the latest deals and specials that can keep you and your family safe. Worley Tire, 804 East Stevenson in Harrison.
Court's calling next 2015-190 State of Arkansas versus Wesley Johnson. Also on the court's docket is for a reappearance to date is 2015-92, same defendant.
Judge, Mr. Russo and I had a discussion about Mr. Johnson, and the state's tendered a plea offer, but I think Mr. Russo is going to take some additional steps, and we may be able to resolve this case by the 23rd.
Judge, on this new case, one or plea of not guilty, waive formal reading of the charge. The court will indulge us on its the current scheduling order as the others for the trial date in March, pretrial in February, and reappearance on January 15th. But in both cases, if the court will allow us to reset these for October 23rd, we may have Mr. Johnson's cases disposed of, ready for disposal on October 23rd.
All right, the court is making that appointment of the Public Defender's Office. Notes that plea of not guilty on the charge of theft of property, Class C felony in case 2015-190. Let's look at when he's set. Court notes that Mr. Johnson had been tentatively scheduled for a plea, today's date, for a plea to drug court. Am I to understand that plea is off the table right now?
Judge, may I approach?
No, ma'am. Judge, what had happened is when they did the screening tool, they picked up on some mental health issues, and they felt that was probably related to the death of his son. I had the opportunity to talk to Wes at length, and it's not his son. I believe that that's a combination of the drug addiction and loss of other family members as well. So before we put him in the drug court, Chris wants me to be screened by HRA and make sure that it is just the grief issues and it can be addressed by counseling, and that we're not going to have medication issues that are causing problems in drug court. We still think he's going to go to drug court and on a new charge as well, but we got to get that mental health screening done first.
That was your own recommendation. Well, you think you can do it on the 23rd? I'm remembering I'm not going to be here.
Anywhere. I'm going to do my best, because right now HRA owes me a couple. So I'm going to call in some favors to see if I can get him screened to get out of that.
Okay. And do you think you can get him pled?
Yeah.
Without being in court and be able to do the drug court? That's fine. All right, well, we should get it for November 6th.
Let us shoot for the 23rd.
Right.
And if we don't make it, Judge,
I was
carry it over to the 6th.
Was there a reason on this other one we were pushing it forward? Was there a speedy trial issue?
No, we just wanted to do a wrap up on both of them.
Okay. All right. Very well. The court is noting the plea of not guilty. This 2015-190 will be set by a scheduling order for reappearance on January 15th, 2016. It'll also be set for a pretrial on February 5th and trial during the week of March 7th, all of 2016. In addition, the court is setting it along with 2015-92 for a reappearance on October 23rd for a possible disposition of the case. Mr. Johnson, you may be excused at this time. 2015-191, State of Arkansas versus Stephen Miller. He applied.
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Court is finding that he qualifies for the Public Defender's Office and is making that appointment. This is for arraignment on charges of breaking or entering, Class D felony, theft of property, Class C felony. On those charges, how does the defendant now plead?
Not guilty, Your Honor. Wait, formal reading.
The plea of not guilty is noted in this case. Am I mistaken? He does have other cases on the docket.
He does.
Your Honor, and I represent all of them.
Are they on the Division 4 docket?
I think one's on the Division 3, Judge. And what I was in the process of doing is I was going to ask to transfer all Stephen Miller's cases to the Division 4 to make it easier for me to handle his cases.
Okay, so I'm transferring Stephen Miller's cases to Division 4. This being one of them, and then we also will need an order. We need to be reminded of what are the ones he has that might be on Division 3. And
Your Honor, the other case I have right now on Division 3 is 2015-147. And Judge, speedy trial is not an issue, and what I'd like to do with both this case and the 147 case is have the scheduling order coincide with both cases.
okay. Well, let me make sure. Do we know what the filing date or the arrest date was in 2015-147, Mr.
Judge,
Carter?
I know the offense date. The actual offense date was April 20th, 2015.
Yeah. So we would be. Let's just go ahead and set both of these cases on this court's scheduling orders for a reappearance on January 15th, 2016, a pretrial on February 5th, 2016, and a trial date of March 7th, 2016. And that's what I'm setting 2015-191-4 down for, and 2015-147-4 will also be set with a scheduling order in that case.
Your Honor, I'd also like, if I could, address the issue of bond.
Okay.
And then I'll have one other collateral matter.
Where does his bond stand on the other case?
Judge, his bond set in the other matter is set at $10,000, is my understanding, according to the paperwork I have. And what I'd ask the court is to set his bond at $10,000 and allow that $10,000 bond to stand for both of his cases.
Judge State is opposed. This court's aware Mr. Miller and his son have roughly 100 charges between Baxter and Boone counties. And I don't know about other jurisdictions that may or may not be filing charges on him. But this is one of the charges, and I believe it's in case 147, is a criminal enterprise or criminal conspiracy. It's a major operation, and so we would ask that the bond remain where it is set in this case, and then he has the various bonds in Baxter County also.
Judge, in 2015-147, he's charged with a single count of D felony theft by receiving, and the bond on that set at $10,000. And in this matter, he is charged with 1 count D felony breaking and entering and 1 count C felony theft of property. And in light of that, Judge, I think a $10,000 bond that would go in both these cases would be sufficient to guarantee his appearance. I don't know what he's got over in Baxter County, and that's the collateral matter I was asking the court to address. The state says he's got 100 charges over there, but he's never, to my knowledge, he hasn't been brought over to Baxter, hasn't been arraigned in Baxter. He hasn't been there yet. I know his son's been transported back and forth like a ping pong ball, but my client has never had arraignment. He's had nothing in Baxter County. I'm not even sure they have charges filed in Baxter County.
Mr. Carter, do you want to address that, please? Do you actually know we have that somebody's filed charges in Baxter County?
I know that the newspaper reported he was charged in Baxter County.
Well, I'm a little hesitant to rely on the newspaper for...
I'll start doing my plea negotiations with the Harrison Daily Times.
You were arguing the newspaper and the quality of the newspaper yesterday.
I think I need to deal more with him.
Judge, I don't know the answer, but as the court knows, I haven't really been over in Baxter County in court in at least a month.
I have been, and I know that his son has been in Baxter County, so I don't doubt the number of charges he may have over there, but I don't recall being informed that Mr. Miller, Stephen Miller, had any charges over there, so I'm not going to factor that into my bond setting. However, the court is aware of that Mr. Miller has been involved in at least allegedly in various activities related to criminal activity, and has had, well, I'm just aware of his alleged participation in other criminal activity. The court's going to find that the good judgment of Judge Kirkpatrick can be counted on, and I'm going to leave the bond at $25,000 on Mr. Stephen Miller's cases. I will make that the bond on both of his charges that are on my docket now because of a transfer.
And Judge, that is Cash or Pro?
Cash or Pro.
Thank you, Your Honor.
That'll be the bond.
When you support a locally owned pharmacy, you're contributing to the growth of the community. The dollars you spend stay right here to support our local community. Health Mart pharmacies are locally owned pharmacies. There's one right here. Health Mart pharmacists have a personal commitment to their communities because, just like you, they support their community. Health Mart pharmacies are locally owned and hometown proud. Harrison is a Health Mart town. Sam Alexander Pharmacy on the square downtown. Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
Now what?
Let's go. That way.
Have fun out there on the compact, capable, and entirely new Pioneer 500 from Honda.
Come see us at 824 North Main in Harrison.
2015-194, State of Arkansas versus Stephen Black. Court is making the appointment of the Public Defender's Office to represent Mr. Black. Mr. Black is for arraignment on charges of possession of a controlled substance, methamphetamine, Class C felony, possession of drug paraphernalia, Class D felony, driving while license suspended, an unclassified misdemeanor. He's charged as an habitual offender in this case. On those charges, how does Mr. Black now plead?
Not guilty, Your Honor. Wait for more reading.
Plea of not guilty is noted on the record. He is on Division 4 docket of this court. To be set by scheduling order. Be set by scheduling order for a reappearance on January 15th of 2016. Pre-trial will be set for February 5th, and the trial date will be set during the week of March 7th of 2016. All those will be set by scheduling order. At this time, is there anything further we need to take up?
Judge, I would like to request a reduction in his bond. It appears that this was a result of a traffic stop. He's charged with 2D felonies and a misdemeanor, and it appears that an amended information may need to be filed because the way I read this, he's currently charged with possession of a Schedule III controlled substance, although it alleges to be methamphetamine. And in light of that, Judge, I think a $5,000 bond would be sufficient to guarantee his appearance.
Judge, I can guarantee his appearance because apparently he's going to the DOC for at least 90 days. No? 6 months.
Mr. Black?
Yeah.
Have you signed for PB?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that sort of a never mind?
That's a never mind, Judge. However, that
I understand.
That does put me in the position to ask the court to set this on for October 23rd.
Okay. I'll put it down for October 23rd.
Mr. Black?
For a reappearance on October 23rd.
I'll be out to see you. Your next court date is going to be October 23rd.
Court calls 2015-56, 2015-59, State of Arkansas versus Jerry Kilburn.
Judge, this is for status report, and we received a letter from Mr. Burris, and they have set an evaluation, albeit December 3rd, as I understand it.
Yeah, I got the letter, and unlike some other of the forensics that the state has sent to private doctors, I'm assuming potentially because of some of the medical issues, my client's slated to appear at the Arkansas State Hospital on December 3rd at 8:30 for his appointment. In light of that, Judge, my client's been sitting stagnant while we're waiting for this to happen. And what I'd like to ask the court to see if the court would entertain electronic monitoring and house arrest. I do know in discussions with my client and his mother that he has a place to go. And under those circumstances, Your Honor, while he's awaiting the forensic, I think that to address some of his medical conditions and to facilitate when the time comes for his exam, I think an ankle monitor and house arrest, along with other conditions of bond, would be sufficient to guarantee his reappearance. And what I anticipate could be the outcome of this case, I think that would be the most appropriate one.
Yeah.
And the court would want...
The court, essentially what we're dealing with in this case is someone who has already allegedly caused someone's death. the court does not feel comfortable with a house arrest. I suspect it's the same house he may have been living with at the time, living in that time, maybe not. But the point is, I don't think there's a suitable enough control on that. So the court's going to leave him in jail at this point.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I don't understand why it takes so long to get the forensic scheduled and done. We had this sort of fast-tracked on a trial schedule in August until the psychiatric evaluation came up. So at this time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put him down because I want this case moving forward. I'm going to put him down to reappear on December 18th. We can't make any progress in the case until the psychiatric evaluation is completed and reported on, but I'm putting him down for a reappearance on December 18th just to try to be on top of it as soon as we get the evaluation completed and to check his status. So we'll just go forward on this basis.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Judge, let me say this. This is not Mr. Burris's fault. He notified the state hospital a long time earlier, and I may be wrong, but Mr. Burris had to ask for an extension because the state hospital hadn't even set up an appointment with him. So I don't want the blame to fall on Mr. Burris.
Mr. Burris is in a very sensitive position, being the point of people entering that system, which, as I say, is subject to a lot of criticism. And I certainly try not to criticize someone in Mr. Burris's position. I know he's doing everything he can to move it along. I've dealt with him for many years, so my criticism is not directed to him. It's directed to the system as a whole. This is less than ideal. All right, Mr. Kilburn, you may be excused.
Thank you, sir.
Your next appearance in court will be December 18th, but between now and then you have an appointment scheduled at the state hospital on December 3rd. All right.
Thank you.
KTKO Channel 8 Harrison. Local television worth watching.